us up. That was wonderful. And live streamers, we're so glad to have you here online with us too, wherever you are watching us from. We are grateful. If you are wondering what is going on here at our center, we have a website. It's CSLSR.org. And on our website, you can find our monthly bulletin by clicking on the photo of the old-fashioned typewriter. And behind that is a document with everything that's going on throughout the month and beyond here at our center. So if you're looking for a bake sale, or you're looking for a class, or if you're looking for when the services are happening, or anything that's going on, you can find it there. So I hope you will check that out. Our web admin, Alan Yeager, does a lot of work to make sure that that's up to date, so it's a good resource for you. We also have a thriving youth and family program for your newborns and your toddlers, your elementary and middle schoolers, and your teenagers. And this program is designed to help your children and your grandchildren to get plugged into our community and to discover who they are and what their spiritual journey looks like, because we're all unique on our spiritual journey. We're also looking to expand our youth program. So if you happen to love holding babies, playing with toddlers, and you want to share that love by volunteering, you can talk with Jennifer Caldwell, our youth coordinator. You'll actually hear from her at the end of our service today too. She'll answer all of your questions, because the more volunteers that we have in this program, the more youth we are able to serve. And right now we're bursting at the seams. So I know our children love playing with their adults and having you there to guide them. So I hope you'll talk with Jennifer after our service today. Also, our teens are raising money for summer teen camp. So again, if you go to CSLSR.org, you'll see a photo of teens there. If you would like to support them financially to help cover the cost of their ticket and their airfare to go to our retreat center in Oregon, I know they are so grateful for everything that you've already contributed, and they're raring and ready to go because they had so much fun at the winter teen camp. So check that out as well. Now, Science of Mind is what's considered a teaching movement, and that means that one of the core ideals of our mission at the center and with our teaching the Science of Mind is to share this wisdom with our movement and with the world. And so because of that, we really have doubled down on education in the last 6 months of this year. And I'm happy to say that our education catalog is now available for you if you would like to check out and see what classes are available from July until the end of the year. And there's a lot, y'all. There are classes and book studies and workshops, oh my. So please pick this up on your way out. We printed out a whole bunch. I know people have been asking me about these, so I'm hoping that we'll run out today. And if we do, we'll print more. But there's a lot of really fabulous classes in here. I'm so delighted. We've got some new teachers too. We've got some teachers who have not taught here in a long time, and they're going to teach again as well. So I'm really excited to see what our next 6 months after July holds for education. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Now, I invite you to join me in speaking aloud our vision and our mission as a community. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And we follow our vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. And would you please read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you are able or raise your hand and stay standing and keep your hand up because we'd love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our welcome. Welcome, Reverend Rasheryl. So I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Reverend Rasheryl's message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. Please know that you are so very welcome here. Now, I invite you to enjoy some music before a short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. So I wait to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. So I wait to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find God. I find myself.
In the silence, we come together as one with that life, that divine energy that simply flows through each one of us, making us whole and complete. It is whole, it is complete. It is the love that infuses divine intelligence. It is the spacious wholeness that simply holds, enfolds, and encompasses all. It is in every thought, in every word, in every action. It is a divine guider, the ground of all being from which we are rooted. And it simply is incessantly flowing eternally. As I am one with that divine energy, so is each one of us here in the sanctuary and online and on the universe in and beyond. Each of us gifted with that divine core, showing the world our individuated expressions as it created us through itself, in the images of itself. I know for this service this morning, perfection, thoughts, words, and actions that make a difference in each of our lives. I give great thanks for this time as that energy flows in, as through, and surrounding each of us today and always. And together we say, as so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Peggy Weber, and I am one of the prayer practitioners here. Would you please join me saying the affirmation that is up on the screen behind us as we do this together in wholeness? The world is alive as love itself.
My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Everyone has a story, everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we find we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple loving touch. My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Everyone has a story, everyone has pain. When we strip away our mask, we find we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple loving touch. My religion is kindness, my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day.
Jack and Jew went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, but Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jew came running after. She said, Jack, tell me, what can I do to help ease your mind? He said, hold my hand and just be kind, and I know we'll be fine. My religion is kindness,
my church is nature, my God is a feeling, lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious, my path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. I said, my religion is kindness, and I practice it every day.
Well, thank you again, Soph and Trey. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Rasheryl McCreary. Reverend Rasheryl is the spiritual director and CEO of Center for Spiritual Living San Jose. And prior to taking the helm at CSLSJ, Rasheryl was an executive leadership coach, keynote speaker, and the CEO of Tao Leadership Development Incorporated, where she has trained and coached leaders in organizations, and you've probably heard of these, such as American Express, P&G, HBO, PayPal, and Harvard Business School. It's a big deal. Most importantly, though, Reverend Rasheryl grew up in science of mind, and she has been a member of 11 CSL churches, and she's studied with esteemed leaders from our movement. In 1993, she became a licensed practitioner under the tutelage of Michael Beckwith at Agape and graduated from ministerial school at Holmes Institute in June of 2021. Rasheryl has served the greater CSL community as a member of the CSL Leadership Council, a keynote guest speaker, a workshop and retreat facilitator, and you'll have an opportunity to have a workshop with her later today. She's been a board member and business consultant and leadership coach to CSL centers. So please give a warm CSL Santa Rosa welcome to Reverend Rasheryl McCreary.
Thank you, Russ. That was such an exciting introduction. I dropped the mic. And the music is so wonderful. Thank you, musicians. So beautiful. And I'm so glad to be here at CSL Santa Rosa. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. So, I know the theme is something about gentle cosmicness, but that's not what I'm talking about today. We had a little snafu in our communication. So my talk is Dare to Leap. That's what we're talking about today, is about leaping. So, in my community last year, which was my first year as a senior minister at CSL San Jose, I offered a dare at the top of each month. So each month, I offered my community a dare, like dare to dream, dare to live in your zone of genius, dare to love, whatever the topic was, we started with a dare. And it's so interesting because I am not a person who's a dare person. Like, I wasn't that kid who would dare people to do things, or if you dared me to do something as a child, I would sort of shrink because I was shy. And as an adult, if you dare me to do something, I'm going to go, who do you think you are? I'm not going to do that, right? So a little bit of pushback there. So I'm not a dare person, but it was coming through to me to offer a dare, a challenge, a way for us as a community to stretch at the very top of the month. And so Dare to Leap is really about how we move out of our comfort zone, right? How do we go beyond what we know into the not know, ostensibly into something better? So from good to great to magnificent, right? Or from comfortable to greater freedom. So this is what Dare to Leap is all about. And leap is defined as springing free from something, or a big sudden jump from one place to another. And metaphorically, though, leaping is about moving to a better place, as I said. And when you think about the reasons we don't leap in our lives, the reasons we choose to stay in our comfort zone, it all comes down to fear. Right? We stay where we are because we are fearful. We have thoughts like, what if I fail or fall? Same thing, right? What if I get hurt? What if there is no ground that rises up to meet me? What if I don't know what's on the other side? And so we stay in our comfort zones. We stay in that relationship that we know is over. We stay in the job that we know we're too big for, that we've outgrown. We stay in the life that we know inside of us there's something that's yearning for more. There's something that wants to break out. There's something that wants to play bigger. But we stay because we feel familiar. It feels cozy. We know it. And sometimes even if it's toxic, it's familiar. And so we choose to stay. And we choose fear. Ernest Holmes says, what would happen if we could convert the energy of fear to faith? The energy of doubt and uncertainty into a feeling of belonging to the universe and being safe in it, which Dr. Edward talked about last week. Right? What if we could convert that energy of fear into knowing that we belong in the universe? Ernest goes on to say, would not the original artist himself go forth into new creation through us? Would not the original artist himself, itself, emerge in a new way through us, create something new through us, create a new life through us, right? If we trust, if we convert that fear to faith. So I'm daring you to leap today. I'm daring you to break free from your comfort zones that you live in and to really go for it, because here's what's true. Your best life ever is on the other side of your comfort zone, right? The best life you can't even imagine how good it is. It's on the other side of your comfort zone. And I learned this in the last 18 months, because 18 months ago, or I'll just say 2 years ago, when I finished ministerial school, I already had a plan. So my plan was I was going to take my existing business, Dow Leadership Development, and look at ways to infuse spirituality into the business world, into the corporate world. So there's already sort of mindfulness is something that's very familiar now to most executives. But I was looking at how do I infuse more spirituality into and spiritual practice into the work I'm already doing. So that was my thinking. I was going to take what I already had and evolve it. And then I started getting nudges from various people, perhaps even the senior minister of this center. I won't name any names. But I started getting nudges to put in my application for senior minister at CSL San Jose. And I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. I have no interest in leading a church. I have no interest in following a long-term minister and going into an organization where someone's been there for a long time. I just have no interest in that. I lived in Phoenix. It's nice and cheap. I have a nice big place. Why would I move to San Jose? And here I am, senior minister for CSL San Jose. But it was a big leap out of my comfort zone, which my comfort zone was great. I loved my business. It was doing well. I love my clients. I still do. I love where I lived. I had a great community there. Life was really, really, really good. And so that leap, I couldn't see why. Why would I do that? Why would I change? Why would I leap? How could life be better than it is now? And it is. It is. It's a bigger life. I get to be explicitly spiritual in everything that I do. I've been a practitioner since 1993. And the work I've done in corporate and other places, I can't be explicitly spiritual. I can't talk about God. I can talk about mindfulness. I can talk about stress relief as a form of meditation. Now they will actually use the word meditation. But I couldn't be explicitly spiritual. I can't talk about God. I can't talk about first cause. I can't talk about science of mind that I grew up in. And this role that I'm in now allows me to be fully myself, fully what God created me to be. And I couldn't see it. I could not see it before, because what I had before seemed like the zenith, seemed like the top. Are y'all feeling what I'm saying? You getting what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit this morning about leaping, right? So there's a couple types of leaps. So we've heard a leap of faith. We've talked about that, where we're willing to make a move. We're willing to do something with no evidence for it, right? We're willing to do that. That's called a leap of faith. There's a quantum leap, which is usually when we talk about it in terms of personal growth, we're talking about an immediate or profound change in one's life or spiritual state. And so we talk about quantum leaps. Today, though, I'm going to use a physical metaphor from the world of dance, ballet specifically. And I'm going to use this leap called a grand jeté as a way for us to think about how we leap in our lives. And so a grand jeté is a very, it literally means big jump. It means big jump. And it is a very bold move. It is can be a very risky leap, because it's a great big jump, and you've seen it. It's where the dancer leaps and they hit the splits before they come down. Right, so it's a big leap where you leap, you hit the splits, and then you come down. And it's a difficult jump, and you can get injured doing that particular leap because it takes so much effort. And then once you're in the air, there's things you have to do. And so but when you see someone do one, it's just spectacular, right? It's just spectacular. And so I want to use that as a metaphor for us. So in a grand jeté, it takes some preparation. You just don't run up and do that. Like I actually dare someone right now to do a grand jeté right now. And so it actually takes some preparation when we are looking at approaching a move like that. And so the first thing that has to happen when you're doing your own grand jeté, your own big jump, is you have got to consciously decide to leap. Right? You have to make a decision to do that. This is not something you go dragging and screaming and fearfully approaching, right? This is something that you have to decide, yep, I am doing this, and I am all in. Right? I am all in. Because here's what's happened. If you're worried or afraid or you're insecure or you're not uncertain or you're quivering in your boots, you will hurt yourself in that leap. You will not be able to get aloft, or you will start wrong, or you'll end in some way that turns your ankle. You will injure yourself in that big leap if you are not consciously all in and deciding to do that. Right? So making a decision is always the first step. Now, here's the interesting thing about life that is unlike the grand jeté. In life, sometimes we choose consciously to make a big leap, and sometimes we're pushed into it, right? It feels like we're pushed into that big leap. And so whether you are consciously choosing it, which is my desire for you, is to be real conscious from this point forward about taking these leaps when it's time, when you know it's ready. So my desire is for you to be conscious, but even if you're pushed into it, the preparation remains the same. And here's what I want you to think about. Ernest Holmes says, faith looks to the invisible, and instead of seeing a void, it fastens its gaze upon a solid reality. Right? So faith looks to the invisible, and instead of seeing a void, it fastens its gaze upon a solid reality. So seeing the thing that you want, seeing that reality that you're leaping to before you get there, right, is a powerful thing. It helps propel you forward. It helps the thing that you're seeing emerge into reality, right? So seeing what you want, seeing where you're going, seeing the experience you want to have before you get there is an act of faith, and it's mandatory to making that leap. So let me tell you what's not mandatory to make that big grand jeté. You do not have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect, have the perfect amount of training or the perfect amount of this or the perfect amount of that or the perfect plan. You don't have to be perfect. And, I don't know about you, but I may have a tendency to be a little bit on the perfectionist side. Anyone can relate to that? No? Yeah. Just asking for a friend, right? I have a friend who's a perfectionist. But here's the thing. You don't have to be perfect before you make the leap. You just have to choose to do it and be ready to go all in with it. And some of the things I'm going to say afterwards. But so many times what we do is we make all these reasons why we can't move because, well, I don't have this, or I didn't have enough this, or I don't have enough education, or I don't have these things, or I didn't do this, or I'm not, we make up all these reasons why we're not perfect. Things are not perfect. The circumstances, the atmosphere is not perfect for us to move forward. And you don't need things to be perfect. You just need to say, yes, I'm going to do this. Right? Yes, I'm ready to do this. Yes, I want my life to change. Yes, I'm going after that bigger thing. Yes, I see that goal. Yes, I see the reality of what can be. And then move, right? And then move. And here's another tip for you. When you are in motion or about to take that leap, the most important part in the grand jeté is not what's happening really with your arms and legs, although they are certainly involved in it. It's your core. Right? The leap happens because of your core. Because here's the thing, your arms can be in the perfect position. Your legs can be ever so strong. But if your core is not strong, that leap is going to fall apart. You cannot sustain it. You cannot sustain it. And you will injure yourself. Right? The core has got to be strong. And so here's what this means in our lives. And Dr. Edward talked about this a little bit, I think, last week when he talked about our spiritual practices. We just read about spiritual practices, our affirmations, our affirmative prayer, meditation, right? These are the things that strengthen the core of our being. Seeing a practitioner, right? Do you have a practitioner? Seeing your practitioner on a regular basis, particularly when you are going to make a leap, or your therapist, right? When you're about to make a leap and you're preparing for that, those are the things that strengthen your core. Being in a spiritual community of like-minded souls who are here loving you and supporting you and seeing the absolute truth about you, the truth of your beingness, that strengthens your core. Right? Doing your meditation work where you are sitting and you're wide open to the divine presence and you are listening and hearing what God has to say specifically and only to you, that strengthens your core. Right? And that core has got to be strong in order to make that big leap. It has to be strong. Are y'all with me? Yeah. And so all of that, right? All of that is your preparation, is your warm-up, to making and taking the big leap. One of the other things that must happen in that big leap is that you've got to look up. You cannot do a grand jeté looking down. Right? You can't walk on water looking down. You have to look up. So you have to keep your vision and your eye focused on the prize. Where are you going? What do you want? What is in front of you? What are you moving towards? What are you creating out there? That is where your focus is. Not on, whoa, what's happening on the ground beneath me? What's going on with these people? What are these people saying about, right? All the things that we get stuck in and that we get caught up in that bring our focus down, that is not going to help you do the grand jeté. In fact, it's going to keep you firmly in place on the ground. Yeah, so this is a time where you really look up. Where are you going? What is your dream? What is your vision? God implanted within you a divine idea, a divine assignment that is so specific to you because it created you out of itself. And it gave you an assignment or multiple assignments. And they're implanted in you and they rear up, they move as desire, right? Things that we desire, dreams that we have. That's God, that's intuition whispering to you saying, hey, I created you for this. I created you for this. You were born for this. I made you especially to do this thing or these things. Right? And so we have to be in alignment with that, and then we have to see that and keep our focus on that. We have to keep our focus on that. And so the last thing I'll say, last tip I'll share is you have to land well, right? You have to land well. It's wonderful to take this big leap, this big incredible leap, this big leap into the future. And if you've done the other things I've talked about, right? You've worked on that core. You have focused on where you're going. And you hold it together and you land well. Not perfectly. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you land well, right? So you don't just land like a sack of potatoes, right? You just don't let everything drop, right? You finish the thing through to the end, right? You land in a way that respects the beginning. You land in a way that respects the vision and where you're going. So landing well is so important. How you hold yourself together to the end of the thing itself, or not the thing itself, but the thing. How you hold yourself together until the end of that, the end of the leap. How you land and on your feet, core intact, standing up, ready to move into the next thing. And it's so important because on the other side of that leap is the beginning of a whole new journey. And if you were collapsed and you didn't land well, then that's how you're starting the next thing, right? And so it's important to be aware. And again, I'm not talking about it has to look perfect, but just to land well in a way that you know within your beingness, you landed the best, you did the best landing you could, right? You landed the best way that you could. And so these are the things that we need to have in order and the things we need to remember in order to leap, in order to make that grand jeté, in order to make that big leap. in our lives. And here's what's true right now. The world out there, the world is asking us to take a big leap. The world is asking each of us, because here's what's true. We cannot create a world that works for everyone if if our individual world is not working. Because we're part of a whole, right? So there's one source, one presence, one life that we all emerge from, that we all are expressions of. And so we can't create a world that works for everyone if our individual worlds are not working. And if we're playing small, and if we're rooted in fear, and if we have a lot of inner conflict going, and we're beating ourselves up, and we're not peaceful, then we can't expect the world outside of us to be peaceful. We can't expect the world outside of us to be people living in their zones of genius. We can't expect the world outside of us to be coming from a place of abundance, because it starts with us. When I was a child in church, we sang, this incredible music now that we have, and I spent some time at Agape, and it was like, whoa, like the music. But when I was a kid, you know what? We all got in a circle at the end of the service, and we held hands, and we sang the peace song, right? Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. That's how every service ended, right? It starts with each of us. And so this Dare to Leap is not just about, it may seem like it's about, a bigger life, or a bigger goal, or a bigger career, or a bigger relationship, or a bigger understanding of our relationship with God. It may look like those things, but it's actually us being the spaces and places that create a world that works. Right? That's what it really is. And so I encourage each of you to really look at, in your life, in your world, where is it that it's time for you to make a leap? And I dare you. I double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you to leap. Shall we turn within? So let's just take a nice deep breath together, shall we? Yes, and with that breath, we just relax and release into the all that is. We recognize that divine presence that is everywhere, that is all powerful, that is all knowing. The original artist, first cause, God, the creator, whatever we call it, it is what it is. It is all that there is. There is nothing else. There is not a spot where it is not. And what I'm knowing is that this divine presence created each of us out of itself, uniquely made and fashioned, each of us fashioned out of the divine. This is our true nature. And so I speak the word this morning, knowing that each one here is incredibly blessed by the divine presence. That each one here has a leap to make, a leap that is right now yearning to break free. And I know and bless that leap, that desire that right now is breaking out, is breaking free, is coming to the top of mind. And I know that each one leaps in alignment with perfect harmony and perfect accord and a perfect core, perfect support, filled with courage, filled with possibility. This is what I know, that each one is blessed and blessed and blessed. And I know that the leaps that are made in this room unlock possibility for everyone, for everyone. And for this, I am so grateful to speak the word this morning, so grateful to be here at CSL Santa Rosa, and so grateful to be in this lovely container of love, of truth, of presence, of courage and faith. And so I just now release this word completely, knowing it is done, it is complete, and that all is well. And so we say together, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you.
Can we give some more love to Reverend Rasheryl, please? Oh. That was wonderful. Now is the time of our service where we transition into one of those spiritual practices that you spoke aloud this morning, spiritual circulation. And at our center, if you choose to give financially, we have a number of ways that you can give. The first is our online giving. You can go to our website, cslsr.org/donate, and you can give online. We also have that fancy, I want to say new, but it's not really new anymore. We have text to give, and you can send a text message to that phone number there, and if it's your first time, it will give you instructions on how to set up your payment method, and then afterwards, you can send it whatever number you like, 1 million, and it will automatically deduct it for you. And I use it myself, and it's super easy and fun. I love it. A lot of people like to do auto giving and, affirm that commitment and just know that whatever dollar amount you've chosen is automatically given. If you'd like to do that, you can head over to our information desk at the end of service or send an email to info@cslsr.org for our online live streamers, and they will help you set that up. I also wanted to mention, we don't always mention this, but I want to remind you that you can get an Oliver's community card. If you are here in our audience, if you shop at Oliver's, at any of the Oliver's in Sonoma County, you can sign up for that community card, and then every time that you go through the checkout line and you scan that card, a portion of that purchase comes back to support our center. And that is a substantial amount of money that we're actually one of the #1 donees for Oliver's for that program. So that's a really nice way too to just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm getting my groceries. Hey, let's scan this card. Now I'm supporting the center too. I love it. And we will be passing the baskets today. And in fact, I invite our ushers to stand as we move into our offering ritual. And if it feels comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And tune in to that core of your being that Reverend Rasheryl was talking about, that part of you that is strong and courageous and knows exactly how to leap into the next step of your journey. And allow that energy to expand, to infuse your body, your mind, your spirit, and to inform and infuse whatever gifts that you choose to give today, whether they're financial, your volunteering, your positive regard and thoughts for our center. Allow them to be filled up with that beautiful love. And I invite you to repeat after me, I bless my gifts. I send them forth to heal and prosper. They do wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
I can hear such sadness in the voices of my friends, talking about this world and its pain. But we must not lose heart, we cannot give up hope. For long have we journeyed, waiting for this day, these times. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger, the higher we climb. We were made for these times. Let us turn our fears into courage, into faith, our greed to generosity. We can give our anger to love's compassion and move this injustice towards peace and unity. These times These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger the higher we climb. And we were made for these times. Didn't we say we are believers? Didn't we ask for grace? We must remember right now we are needed to stand and shine a light in this hour, in this place. These times, these times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger the higher we climb. We were made for these times, these times. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. We shall use our voices, we will not walk blind. We were made for these times. Our hearts were made for these times.
Thank you so much for helping to support this community. It's because of you that we're able to do all the good work that we do. So speaking of that good work, I'd like to invite up my good friend Jennifer Caldwell to tell us about what our youth have been doing.
Still good morning. Thanks. Good morning now. It's like if you can hear me once, clap your hands like in school. I'm so happy to see you guys this morning. If you saw me last week and I looked a little bleary-eyed, it's because I spent the night on the floor beneath your feet. I slept here with the teens and we had such a good time. And so I want to talk about that for a few minutes, but before I do that, I want to tell you what we're doing with the other kiddos. You've heard a few last weeks in a row we've talked about, I need more help. Our kids are coming in every week, and every week we have so much fun playing together and learning together, and our room is full. We need to have some offerings for the 9 o'clock hour so that we can keep it nice and safe for the little guys so that there's a little bit less in each room each time. And I would love to have some more volunteers and teachers' assistants. So if you don't even feel like you are ready to be a teacher of the room of the day, you can come and be an assistant and work alongside somebody who's been working with me for a while. So there's lots of opportunities there. And so I will talk now about the teen overnight. I want you guys for just a minute to think about the last time you met somebody brand new and you had hope in your heart that they would accept you. It was somebody you wanted them to like you and you were trying to maybe impress them a little bit, or maybe you were just really relaxed in the moment, but you wanted them to like you because you liked them or you were curious about it. I want you to think about that moment, and then also if you could suspend that thought and that feeling, and then think about when you were a teenager. Can you think about all of the things that might have been swirling for you as a teenager? You know, the things about school, if you can think about the things with your parents or your siblings, or maybe your sports team or a hobby you had. Think about all of the things that were being held by you in your heart as a teenager. And then on top of that, you have to meet somebody new and you want them to like you. So last weekend, when all of the teens from all the different centers came in, and they were meeting each other for the very first time, I, of course, fed them food because they'd been traveling from different places, some from San Jose, some from Napa. We were expecting a couple from Santa Cruz, but they couldn't make it. But we had teens coming in from everywhere, so I had food waiting for them when they got here, and they all settled themselves down at tables per center. San Jose sat with San Jose. Santa Clara sat with San Jose. Napa sat by itself. Santa Rosa sat by itself, but they sat in clumps, right, with their advisors, and they just sat that way for a while. So I looked in the room and I saw, okay, this is what we've got. This is what's going on. So we started doing the activities, right? We started with food and then outside activities. We decorated outside. We played an amazing game of dodgeball. We played some hockey with those beautiful little purple balls. If you see them out in the parking lot, pick them up and return them to me. We had 100. We don't have 100 anymore. They're all over the place. But this is how they were separated. But as the 24 hours moved on, right, and as I kept feeding them food and we kept practicing, we practiced meditation quite a few times. We practiced spiritual circulation with one another. We practiced mind treatments together. We all learned a mind treatment. Well, that's not a mind treatment, is it? That's just pure kid fun. We practiced mind treatments together. They all wrote their very first mind treatment. If they hadn't done it before, we talked about it, and we talked about the why. Why is this different than prayer? Why is this different than an affirmation? What does this even mean? We worked on it together. By the end, I think this is the next morning, you can see they're all at the same table. They're all playing together. They're eating breakfast together. Despite the young ladies didn't go to bed till after 1 a.m., they all got up the next morning and were together. And that's what I'm hoping for our youth community. That last two pictures was our night lights, which is a spiritual circulation practice where we do a mind treatment together as a group. So that's my hope for our youth program, and that's my vision that I continue to just breathe fire into and breathe life into, and that I want to see is that our youth community continues to grow together. They grow up together. They grow in together, that they have people to lean on in times of need. And the more we can do to help support them as they're growing their own spiritual paths, I'm going to keep supporting. They were all very adamant that we needed to do this again at the end of summer before school starts. So I'll see if I can get that going for them. And we're all very much looking forward to. I like to do this with kids. I get a vote, right? Everybody put your thumbs up if you think you might go to camp, or if you're not really sure yet, or I'm not doing that. And so when I first asked for the very first vote, I got a lot of I got this from our kids. I got this from some of the other kids, and I got a couple of these. And I was like, all right, it is what it is. By that next morning, when they were all sitting all at the big table together, I started a little differently. Everybody let me know with a thumb vote, you're going to camp and you're going to invite a friend. You might go to camp, but you're definitely not bringing a friend. You don't think you're going to camp. I got a lot of these. I'm going to camp. I want to bring a friend. I think I have a cousin who might want to go. Is it okay if I bring my friend from school? And I got a couple of I'm going, but I just don't know who to invite. Who likes this stuff? I don't know. And nobody gave me a thumbs down. So we're growing our kids, and I love that you guys help me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm just so delighted that our teens were able to have that experience, and they continue to have these great experiences. All right, it's time to find out what's going on here at our center. And the first thing that's going on is we just had our April new member orientation class, and we'd like to honor the new members who chose to say yes to membership at our center. And they are Becky and Bonnie and Catherine, Clyde, Dana, Holly, Jenny, Joey, Lynn, Michelle, Molly, Seth, and Tiffany. Thank you so much for saying yes to being a loyal, active, and supporting member for our center. Okay, so I opened us up today talking about some classes that are coming up, and one of them happens to be my class. And it starts tomorrow, and I want to talk to you a little bit about visioning. Visioning is a powerful spiritual tool that can help you to tap into that creative energy within you to direct your life, to inspire you, and to help you to understand what's next. It's especially helpful if you do dare to leap. It's a tool that anyone can learn and can use to support in making decisions and figuring out what's next in life and to look deeper into the complexity of the world to get a little clarity. And I know sometimes I definitely need a lot of clarity with this complex world. So this class begins tomorrow. You still have some time to sign up. It will begin at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, but please be sure to sign up today so that I can send you all the materials ahead of time. And if you'd like to sign up, you can sign up on our website by clicking on the photo of the compass on our website. And I'm really excited to share this class with you. Visioning is such a beautiful and powerful practice, and it has helped me to find my way to where I am today. And I'm so grateful for that. And I know that the Spirit within you, too, is there to guide you in your life. So I look forward to seeing you in class tomorrow. Also, you still have time to get your raffle tickets for that beautiful walking Buddha statue that is in our bookstore. So be sure to stop by the bookstore on your way out today and pick up some raffle tickets. You can buy as many as you like, and we are going to do the drawing for that Buddha on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th. And speaking of Mother's Day, if you enjoy that Karen Drucker music, that Eddie Watkins Jr. music that we opened up with today, and you happen to like our good friend Gary Lynn Floyd too, we have a concert, and it's happening right here in this sanctuary on May 12th at 4 p.m. Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, Eddie Watkins Jr. are all coming together to share their musical genius with us, and it is rare for us to be able to see all three of them playing together. Now, if you might be feeling a little lukewarm and you want to try it out, they're also going to be playing the music for our Sunday that morning. So you can come and bring your friends and you can get a little taste of what that concert's going to look like at 4 p.m. If you'd like to buy tickets for it, we have that sign up over at our info desk. You can also find a link online. It's just the photo of Karen and Gary and Eddie. And we really look forward to having them here and seeing you here for that concert. It's going to be so much fun. Now, finally, I'd like to invite my friend Reverend Rasheryl up here to tell us about her workshop this afternoon.
Thank you, Russ. So my workshop this afternoon starts at 1 o'clock, and it's called The Art of Reinvention. It could also be called Dare to Leap. What we'll be doing in that workshop is I'll be walking you through a 4-step process to really look at reinventing an area of your life. So if there's something that you want to explore, a leap that you know you want to make, I invite you to join me. I will walk you through the process, and you will leave with some clear next steps on how to reinvent, resuscitate, or leap in the next area of your life. Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds like a fabulous workshop. And if you'd like to sign up for that, that's also on our website. And you can sign up over at our info desk. We'll actually be taking in-person sign-ups at the workshop. It'll be right over there at Wagoner Hall at 1 p.m. today. It is time for us to close out our service. So if you are able and willing, go ahead and stand up and repeat after me. Oh, real quick before you do, we have after-service prayer available for you. If you had a hard time last night, you're looking for spiritual support, or you would just like to have support in taking that leap into the next step of your spiritual journey, I invite you to take advantage of that here in the sanctuary. You can go over to the white table in the corner there, and you will be led to one of our practitioners who love to pray with you about whatever your heart desires. And we also have prayer on our Zoom account. I'm looking for the slide there. It's cslsr.org/Zoom-prayer. I'm going off of memory there. So online viewers, you can also take advantage of that. Okay. I invite you to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. And life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone. That Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a divine presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the closing music.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.